Hey everybody, it's the Vegas Vic show here. How's everything going? I hope everybody's having a great day. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I think we're up to 61 subscribers and almost, geez, it's been like maybe a week. It's been great. I have over 400,000 views on Facebook. I didn't expect that. Honestly, I thought maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1,000, but 400,000 on Facebook, that's pretty amazing. And I think I got like 5,000 subscribers that I've accumulated over there. So thank you for that. That's pretty cool. My message is resonating with people, so I'm glad. So today we're going to talk about the surveillance state with Flock. At the end of the day, there are things that are going on, and it's concerning. We've become a surveillance state in America. We have gone too far, I think, with it. And I know there's the argument of, oh, yeah, you're going to have people get tracked by their phones. And yeah, anybody can get tracked by a phone. But at the end of the day, the flock cameras, like, why are they putting them in parks? Why are they putting them in the middle of nowhere? And look, we've had security cameras put up for different things in regards to, like traffic cameras and cameras to track vehicles to an extent. And we've had that in the past, but I feel like this is different. And I feel like the argument of, oh, we're having tracking on our phones. It's just different when they're pointed at playgrounds. Like, I don't know. It seems really, really weird. And I feel like it's unnecessary. I feel like it's gone too far. I feel like it's gone to a point where it doesn't need to be. But again, this administration is trying to surveil us. They're trying to make it so they can track people. And ICE has access to some of these databases, and police. Like, there's been reports of police that have stalked their ex-wives and tracked their ex-girlfriends. Some of them, even more nefarious stuff, I'm sure, has happened with these flock cameras. I know some people have gotten pulled over or even arrested from the news stories I've seen. It's making mistakes with the license plate reader. So at the end of the day, again, it's another level or another layer of security that we really need. And I'm all for being safe and having safe neighborhoods. But at the end of the day, there's something going on, and it's just not right. And I feel like it's very concerning. I feel like it's very it's something that we have to watch. It's very unnerving, and we shouldn't have all these cameras all over the place that are the data is so easily accessed by the government. Again, we've had similar things in the past, but I feel like this is different, and I feel like there's something else going on. And again, we've become a surveillance state in this country. We have become something different, like how the ICE agents in the federal government was infiltrating some of the protests in Minneapolis. And it wasn't just monitoring them. They were trying to infiltrate and surveil them. And they were doing nothing wrong but do peaceful protest. Now, I understand if you have evidence that a group is being terroristic. Like, we don't condone any political violence here on the Vegas Vic show. I don't condone it. I understand why people do get frustrated and they get to a point where they start putting things out there that, yeah, you can consider it like, whoa, because people are frustrated. And I'm not saying that's the way to go about things, but at the same time, I understand their frustration, but I don't condone it, and I don't condone political violence towards any group. That being said, look, the right has way more political violence than the left. That's just a fact, and you can look it up, and people can debate it and dispute it, but look it up. Like at the end of the day, the right, the extreme right wing part of the party does have more political violence, and there's extreme parts of every type of religion or group. That just comes with the territory, unfortunately. And there's some extremists. Yes, you could say there's some real extremists on the left, but that's not as much as the right. And this whole idea of labeling anybody that's part of this Antifa as a terrorist organization is just ridiculous. Again, the people that stormed, the soldiers of the military that stormed D-Day, that was Antifa. So what are we doing? Like, what is this really about? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a sad state in our country, and I wish it would be better. I wish it would be different, but unfortunately, it's not. It's the state that we've put ourselves in, even though there's a large portion of people that didn't vote for this. I mean, at the end of the day, I never believed the stories of my mom. She would talk about, there'll be a day that will be coming that there'll be some not good people, and there'll be people that support that not good person. I was raised Christian, but at the end of the day, like, I have my own theories on things, and I didn't believe that. I was like, nah, there's no way that people would be drawn towards evil or not good people. I always felt, even throughout most of my life, like there's just no way. Like, I always trusted the electorate in this country, the group of people that would be like, oh yeah, you know what, we're the checks and balances. Up until Donald Trump got elected, I was like, man, like, we've always been able to filter out the not good people, or the people that are at least not qualified for the job or adequate for the job. And I feel like that's not there anymore. I feel like I've said before, I feel like he's not going to leave office. He doesn't go and joke about this and then go print out 2028 merch. I mean, you're not joking about that when you do that. And there's people like Steve Bannon, they're like, hey, he's going to be president for a third term. So at the end of the day, like, there are people that are around Donald Trump that's telling him, hey, you can stay in office. And they even say, hey, we're not going to rewrite the Constitution. We're going to make our own laws. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but at the end of the day, if he's alive, he's building an underground city. Why the rush? Like, they've pushed this project through so fast. And I believe he also would have access to these flock cameras. He would have surveillance. He would have access to the surveillance systems. That's another layer of this. Like, we've talked about the unlimited drones that he says he's going to have, the defensive shield around Washington. And again, I've seen the arguments of some people are like, well, why would he announce that? Why would he put that out there about that specific area? That's like, it's kind of like almost self-defeating. Well, first off, it feeds his ego. It feeds his ego, these building projects. And it's also symbolic, like, hey, this is the White House. I'm creating it in my own image, and I'm just going to stay. Now, there could be other reasons to why he wanted this ballroom built, this vanity project, and trying to get the military bunker built was the security level. But he's been talking about that. Like, even when they first came out, it went kind of from like the ballroom, but it went into the security thing pretty quick. Like, hey, we need this for security. They reinforced the doors at the White House. They're making it like this impenetrable bunker. And it's supposed to be done 2 to 3 months before the November 2028 election. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm not right on this. But at the end of the day, we got to look at what's going on in this country. And the stuff with the flock stuff is concerning. It's basically an entire It's basically an entire bunkers. It's basically an entire bunker system he's building underneath the White House, a whole city with a hospital and offensive and defensive drone capabilities. Who says that? Who comes out and says that? Like, why say that? And then the fact that all these flock cameras are everywhere, they're putting them up everywhere. They're putting them in parks. They're putting them in places that you wouldn't really be like, well, why would we need to do that? I'm not saying things that don't go wrong in parks. Like there's things that go down in parks that, yeah, you could say, okay, maybe, when the kids ain't around and maybe even with kids around, it's still really suspicious of why would you have that there. And, at the end of the day, you have families, you have people that have cameras, their phones, there's all kinds of ways to document things. And like I said, I think you'd be able to tap into those systems. And it's concerning. It is very concerning. I got a little piece of hair on my on my microphone. But yeah, at the end of the day, we just gotta be vigilant with things. And again, I try to tell people, don't be scared, be prepared. A lot of times people might think my content is overly hyped and fear mongering. I'm not trying to, but we have so many things going on in the world right now that we have to really think, what if something happens? There's floods, there's wildfires, there was a chemical spill in the Midwest. You know what I mean? Like anything could happen. You just need to be prepared. Have evacuation routes planned out. Have bug out bags. Have supplies of food. Like I've told people, and I've said this even on this channel and in my videos. Most households don't have 2 to 3 weeks worth of stock of food in their home, and I get it. Food is expensive right now. But at the end of the day, like we should all have food stocked up in case something happens. And I would even go as far as saying, again, it's another expense, but if you can have a secondary bug out spot, storage would be ideal. But again, that's more expense for some families. But if you can have a secondary place where you can go get extra supplies that only you know about, that's also kind of a good thing to have. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, this is where we are, folks. Like, it's really concerning. I'm concerned about the security state that we've implemented. And again, the whole thing with the drones is like, wow, like, you've seen the AI post of Donald Trump. He had AI posts with like the drones and it looked like tanks, a bunch of military on top of the White House, the new White House. That's not a joke. That's what he really envisions, this military complex. Now it's not the White House anymore. It's a military complex for him to possibly stay in, and they would likely be connected to other bunkers that he would have access to. But it's almost like this imagery of like we're at war with ourselves in this country. Like it's always the enemy, like the Democrats are the communist enemy and the enemy of the people, the media. The media is the enemy of the people. At the end of the day, is it really? So sorry, I got to adjust my camera here. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, I mean, that's where we are in this country. Like we got to really try to plan for something happens. And again, I always hope that it doesn't. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that we continue to go on a path that's better for this country and unite somehow with each other. With maggots, it's hard for me because I can't see myself ever being like, come on board. At the end of the day, it's like they picked who they wanted in, and it was very obvious that this guy was very bad. I mean, I get a little bit vocal about it, but it's the reality. Like if somebody is a terrible, terrible person and you still support that and you continue to support that, what does it again say about you? At the end of the day, like we can be better. We can be a better people. But when it comes down to it, like, some of these people that have voted for him and keep supporting him, I just feel like is a little much for me. Oh, excuse me. I had a tickle in my throat. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you for supporting me. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to make this channel about prepping and about continuing to Prepare yourself for something that could possibly happen. And again, we hope nothing happens. But again, thank you for supporting the channel. Go check out Vegas Vic over on, I'm on TikTok. I'm also on Blue Sky, and just Vegas Vic for the handle on Facebook. Again, don't be scared. Be prepared.